She lost more weight than she weighs now.
I've lost more than me.
My friend Shelley Carling lost 140 pounds holistically after years of trying to figure it out.
I just kept really trying all these different things and they were failing and it was hard and I couldn't get myself going.
Until she realized something that changed everything.
I finally realized that it was okay to ask for medical help.
So in this conversation, you'll learn the exact protocols that Shelley used to break old habits.
I take a really hot bath or I wrap myself up in my heated blanket. I'll use my massage gun and it just kind of gives me a minute enough to like shake this off.
And how she's keeping the weight off by focusing on her most abundant life. You want to be healthy because you want to travel all over the world.
Yes.
Artistic life, your creative life. Do you see how focusing on your life, less on the weight loss is done. By keeping what you've created, you get to do all this stuff with more ease. I'm Elizabeth McGann, your guide to a holistic mind-body-soul approach to GLP-1s. To take my free How to Microdose Masterclass, just click the link in the episode description. That said, you've released 140 pounds.
Yeah, that is more weight than I weigh now. Like I've lost more than me.
I mean, that's crazy.
Isn't that wild?
And what I want to go right into, and I'm sure people are listening and they can see themselves in your story. They're like, how does that feel now? And I would imagine it feels maybe even like a whole new identity.
Honestly, it feels like I'm me again.
Okay.
That's a big part of it is like, I feel like I was feeling so uncomfortable in my life, both physically and emotionally, mentally, just like I was not in a good space. And COVID really kind of like, I went through it, not just with the world falling apart and, a global pandemic, but there were multiple things going on in my life that I was like having to sift through and process. And even the decade before that, my 30s were really, really hard. And I was really comparing myself to where I thought I should be in my 30s and that I was nowhere near close to that.
Yeah.
And so that was really, really hard for me. And I think that, after COVID and kind of the tipping point, and when I got to the point of like, it's okay to ask for medical help. And also it's just okay where you are. Like,
yes.
You're fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't need to be living up to any societal standard, any cultural standard. Like you're just okay where you are. And I honestly think kind of accepting that for myself is what made things start to change.
Yeah. The acceptance.
Acceptance of just like me. Period.
Yeah. If I can reflect back my perception too, as I remember you sharing with me that you were wanting to not really focus on dieting at the time. Back in 2020, you had regained some weight and well, you called it the struggle bus. You were really struggling with that.
Yeah.
You were not wanting to focus on actually dieting. You'd done that. You've been on every diet and it worked, but you would gain it back.
Yes.
And so I remember you saying in one of our episodes, Elizabeth, I want to do the non-diet approach to weight release.
Yes.
And that was so interesting. So what would you say was the inner work processing your emotions and what helped with that? Was there an emotional eating component to?
Oh, I definitely was an emotional eater.
Okay.
For sure. And what's been really fascinating is like how much I miss it.
The emotional eating?
Yeah, that's been a really weird thing for me. Because now I literally can't eat a big meal.
Okay.
Which is good for me.
Yeah.
And I've realized that I miss doing that. And I think what it was is because eating a big meal to me was a disassociation from my life.
Okay.
And so now I'm finding myself disassociating in other ways when I need to.
Okay.
Right. And I think that that's fine. There's a fair amount of that we all kind of need to just like have a little tap out. It has been fascinating that I just really, really missed the emotional eating part of it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I guess one of the biggest components of my journey, full stop, is awareness.
Yeah.
So like awareness that I was, and I could have told you that before. I could have been like, oh yeah, I'm using food as a way to, cope, but having an awareness in the moment that it was happening.
Yes.
was really interesting to me.
And that's going to help you in your maintenance.
Yes.
Right? Just the awareness when you realize, okay, I'm having an emotional trigger.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing you say that now you can't actually overeat.
I literally can't because I will try, let's say, and a way that it's showing up is a disconnect for me is that sometimes I'll still order a big meal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so hungry. And then I cannot eat all that food. Like, who am I kidding? What's nice, I can have leftovers for later and I get more bang for my buck. But, in that moment, I'll start trying to like put a meal down and I physically cannot.
Yeah. Okay.
And then what it is the feelings that come with that after.
The feelings.
Yes. The feelings of like, oh, I wish I were eating that. I wish I could, throw all of this down. And then it's like, well, why do I wish that? Like what's going on right now that I want to like fill myself with food?
Bingo. Which is a big part of processing your emotions. A lot of times people eat their feelings. And so if you're literally having to pause because you can't.
Yeah.
And people that are on a GLP-1, they often are having a similar
100%.
Yours is both a smaller stomach and a GLP-1. So you have like that double
whammy.
protection.
Yeah.
And good on you that you've really taken those interventions. It's helped you so much.
So much.
So an emotional thing will arise and people listening can be like, okay, we all get activated. We all get triggered. And so you're forced to pause. What helps you? And it's totally okay to numb out on things that aren't maybe the healthiest things, scrolling, whatever, shopping. But when you're making a choice that actually we'll consider like a healthy choice to process your emotions, what are you learning about yourself? Like, what do you do? What are some of the things you employ when you want to process your emotion and you're not going to go into an addictive loop?
Honestly, I take a really hot bath. Or I wrap myself up in my heated blanket. Another thing that has happened is I'm cold all the time. So I am constantly like, let's pack on some heat and let my body like feel that. Or, sometimes I'll realize like, okay, like I'm feeling such a way and I'm holding all of this tension in my body. So I'll use my massage gun and it just kind of gives me a minute enough to like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, let's just let shake this off and like let this go.
And as you know, in the holistic GLP-1 method, one of the things we talk about is the somatic practices, getting into your body, whether that's exercise or stretching or yoga.
Yeah.
And what I'm hearing you say is that you notice an emotional trigger.
Yeah.
And you get into your body more, you attend to it.
Yeah. I'm curious, like with your clients, is there a trend that you find with them? Is that kind of the same thing that they do, or?
I like to find with each person, there's different things that they may need to do. But I think the first step in dealing with an emotional trigger is realizing that it's occurring, like sometimes just naming it out loud. So if someone's listening and they notice that they too suffer from emotional eating, as you're reaching for whatever it is, for me, it's often chocolate. If I can just even name it and be like, oh, okay, I'm about to emotionally eat right now. I'm not even hungry.
Right.
But I want this chocolate.
Right.
So what is that really about? Awareness.
Right.
And then whatever that is, yours is a bath or a warm blanket.
Or, a lot of times I'll lay down and breathe. Actually, that's a big one. I'm remembering I do. I had a really chaotic last spring. I just had so many things going on and it was really chaotic and fun and great. But like, I would get to places and tell people that I was feeling like this. They were like, what is that? But I would just be like, can everybody, I just need 5. And I would tell people I was regulating. I need 5 to regulate. So just like nobody talk to me for 5 minutes. And then I would just lay on the ground and like one hand on my belly, one hand on my heart. And I would just kind of like let myself re-sink, I guess.
So good. And there's so many ways, and it's as unique to the person, but often it can be very simple. It can be walking, it can be a focus on the breath.
Yep.
It can be a prayer.
Yeah.
If you don't have an official prayer practice, it could be a meditation. It could be so many different things.
Yeah.
But awareness alone. And a lot of people that struggle with their weight, they're using food addictively.
Right.
Which is so interesting about GLP-1s because they really do work on the addictive part of the brain. What did you notice?
Oh my gosh. They are, just the food noise, gone.
Gone.
Yeah. Totally gone.
Okay. And Oprah talks about this. You know, she's a big GLP-1 advocate and she's very vocal about it. And she basically talked about, until recently, she didn't know that she had the disease of obesity. And the disease of obesity, which is kind of a new way of talking about it, is her obsession with food and thinking about food and wanting to eat, maybe even thinking about the next meal as she's eating it, thinking about food just more than someone else. She assumed that everyone had that and she just had bad willpower. Like there was something wrong with her. And when she went on a GLP-1, I remember her saying recently, it's like all of a sudden she was like, oh, it just turned off. She was like, this is what my thin friends, my naturally thin friends experience.
Yes.
And was that been your experience?
Yes.
Okay.
100%. I don't know how that happened. I don't know what sort of fairy dust they're sprinkling in there that they just like flip the switch and you're like, food. I mean, it's kind of incredible. And also it's made me so much more productive.
Yeah.
To just do my work instead of thinking about like, what's the most delicious thing I could eat, you know, for my next meal or snack, you know, and just sit and ruminate on that, you know. Instead, I'm like, all right, I guess I'll handle these emails.
100%. I like to think of it as how much space being on the yo-yo diet struggle bus takes up in your brain. And when you finally solve it, it frees up so much bandwidth.
Yeah.
And that's where we kind of are right now with you. You literally have solved this problem. Like you have arrived at your goal.
Yeah.
And are you allowing yourself to like really let that land?
I feel incredible. I like to call it like living out loud because I feel like I'm not like hiding myself. I think there was a certain amount of that was happening before just because I felt uncomfortable in my own body. And I was also feeling uncomfortable with where I was in life and blah, blah, blah. And now, you know, I've gone through this journey. I feel great. And so I feel like I'm just living out loud a little bit more. And that's really fun and exciting.
Yeah. That's pillar 4 in the holistic GLP-1 method. It's activate your abundant life. It's now that you've shed the weight, you're at your goal weight. What do you want to do with your life now? And I'm curious, I want you to talk about that. What now? Like, what are you going to do with all this free space in your brain? What does activating your abundant life look like?
Oh my gosh,
it's a big question, Shelley.
A huge question.
You know how I like to ask the big questions.
Big questions.
No pressure.
Yeah.
Just riff.
I mean, what does my abundant life look like?
Yeah. Well, like with this new bandwidth, what are you going to do with that spaciousness? Like you're no longer like, oh gosh, I need to lose this weight or you're here.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it is like doing things for the fun of them and not for the like, oh, I got to lose weight. Like, I think I'm going to take up tennis again because I like the game of tennis, not because I need a workout.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Little things like that. I also am finding I have so much more space for writing projects, you know? And so I'm like, well, I guess, maybe I'll write a thing about that, or maybe I'll do this, or maybe I'll take that class, or maybe blah, 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 blah. I just am like, I feel like I'm much more engaged with the world.
Yeah.
Which is exciting.
It's so exciting. And we could talk endlessly about this. And I'm so happy for you. And I really just like, it's wow. Just wow. Because I could spend the rest of the podcast just saying that. I mean, wow. Shelley, amazing. But let's talk about what people struggle with. As you know, I had my own weight loss journey.
Yeah.
And I'm happy with my weight now. And that said, being even at the weight I am now, I look in the mirror sometimes and I don't see what other people see. I'm focused on what I don't like. I see the imperfections. Maybe my weight is okay, but now I'm like, but now I'm getting old. And, it's just like, all the stuff. Like, and there's always the next level of not liking.
100%.
But I'm curious, you've been at different weights. As you said, you've lost more weight now than you weigh now. Are you still, when you look in the mirror, can you see what other people see? Or we'll call it body dysmorphia. Do you experience that? Has your mind caught up with your new reality?
I think my mind has pretty much caught up because right now I'm kind of like trying on clothes and I'm like, oh my gosh, she's cute. Like that's kind of my like, oh, this is a cute little outfit I put on. You know, I'm kind of more into that.
Yeah.
Which has been really fun to kind of play around with. I think where it kind of manifests itself for me is what I was pointing out to earlier is like, I forget how little I can eat. So I am ordering like the biggest plate of food because I'm like, oh, I'm going to eat that. And then I can't have that much of it, you know?
I hear that.
So that's kind of a space where my mind has not caught up with my reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you probably save some money on groceries.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have more leftovers.
So dope. Yeah. I mean, honestly, the truth of it is it's hard for me to grocery shop because I haven't figured out how to cook for one and also one that doesn't eat a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I've actually found for the most part, it's easier for me to order out maybe like twice a week. And then I am eating those leftovers.
Yeah. And it's interesting, you know, with the holistic GLP-1 method, we often talk about the importance of eating enough protein, about what to eat to make sure you're getting your macros, to make sure that, you know, most of the side effects that come from doing this medication, doing it wrong, or taking too much medication, undereating, and eating the wrong things.
Sure.
How did you get enough protein in? Because you've got like the double thing going on.
Yeah.
Not only are you have a lower appetite being on a GLP-1, you have a smaller stomach. So this is even more important.
Yeah.
So people listening, they know they need to get 100 grams of protein a day so they don't lose muscle, et cetera, and stay nourished. How do you make sure that you get 100 grams of protein in a day?
I mean, truthfully, I'm probably not good at tracking it, but I do focus on protein.
Okay.
So I'm not counting my grams.
Okay.
But I am like, the first thing I do is go, okay, like, what am I going to have for dinner, or, you know, whatever meal I'm going to order. And I'm trying to order very pure, clean protein, and like vegetables is kind of what my go-to is, or like a salad with protein on it. That's kind of my go-to.
It's so good. What would you say for someone who's thinking about going on a GLP-1? What do you wish that you knew that you know now? What would you say to someone who is considering a GLP-1 journey?
It's totally fine to do. Like, there should be no stigma behind it. You don't need to hide it. You don't need to be hush hush about it. I do think it's really nice to have somebody as like a point contact person that you can ask for help. Like, you've always been literally the best resource for me. Like, I always know I've got Elizabeth McGann in my pocket if I like have questions. I mean, I've worked with you so many times before, you know, but it's like, you are this consistent like nutritionist extraordinaire. I have Elizabeth, you know? So that's been really, really helpful, just to like know that I have someone. And also, it's not as scary as you think.
Yeah.
I mean, you're giving yourself a shot.
Yeah.
And you're talking to the person that hates needles more than anyone in the world. Like, I can't watch medical dramas. I can't even see like a needle on TV. I have to be like, I can't watch it. So, you know, suddenly I'm like, what am I going to give myself a shot every single week? Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah. But you want to know what? It's not that bad. Did I make up a little song that I sing to myself every single week when I do it to remind myself that maybe it's going to pinch, maybe it won't. Yeah. It'll be fine. Yeah. Yeah. I do it. Just make it work.
So mindset, another thing we teach in the GLP-1 method is how important your mindset is. And listening to you, I just hear, I don't think you even realize how well you work with yourself mindset wise. Like, when I asked you about body dysmorphia, I'm hearing you say that you don't really suffer from it, because when you look in the mirror, you actually are training yourself to see what you like. Yeah. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I think that that's true.
Yeah.
For sure. Honestly, I would say in life, I kind of am that way in general. Yes. I've been blessed to have kind of like a cheery disposition overall, you know? But yeah, I do feel like that I've really been happy that I have that going through this process.
You really do. And I really want to point that out. And not only with the body dysmorphia, transforming it by retraining your brain to notice what you do like, what you did with the injection, like that was scary for you. Yeah. It's scary for you to inject yourself. It's scary for a lot of people. Yeah. That said, what did you do? You created a song.
I created a song.
And you made it fun.
Yeah, I made it a little bit fun. And my roommate thinks I'm a little crazy because he hears me once a week in my bathroom singing a little song.
Yeah, can we hear it?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I can't believe I'm gonna.
Okay, you can do it.
Very vulnerable.
Do you want me to clap along? I won't.
No.
The sound. Chris is gonna love us, so we'll clap really loud into the microphone.
This
and holler.
Is so nerdy.
You can do it, Shelley. I'm here for it.
Okay, so you know, I grab wherever I'm gonna do the needle. I get the needle ready to go. Okay, and then I go. Okay, I go. pinch, pinch, pinch. This is gonna pinch. That's okay. That's just what it does. Pinch, pinch. And then the whole while it's going in pinch, pinch, pinch. This is gonna pinch. That's okay. And now I'm done.
Okay.
And then I take it out.
Hey, you heard it here first,
There it
guys.
is.
Feel free to incorporate that. Yeah.
It's so stupid, but it works.
No, it
totally
does.
works for me.
But that's mindset. It's a reframe.
Yeah.
It's making it fun.
Yeah.
And how important is mindset to you? And what is your mindset now? Let's just talk about this for a moment. For the audience that's listening, maybe if they're coming close to the end of their weight loss journey and they've arrived at their goal, the big question is, and some say the hardest part of the journey is maintaining it. So, and that's, we could say that's a negative mindset about it. We could say, but it might be based on reality.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So knowing that maintenance, where you are now, to maintain this weight for the rest of your life successfully with ease, to be finally fucking free, as I like to say.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. What's the mindset you're going to need to be able to embrace that well?
That is a great question. I think like a mindset of lasting change. Like this was not just like, I am here, I have arrived, I am staying this way.
Yeah.
I think I just need to let myself celebrate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I did it. Certainly it is a lifelong commitment, which is amazing that I get to do that, So yeah, I'm still kind of figuring out what that looks like because I'm just getting to the maintenance part, and switching over to that. But, I think of it in the same way. It's like, diabetics are on insulin. I think that this is going to be something that I kind of need to microdose forever.
And microdosing is the way to go with maintenance from physical strategy.
For sure.
But there's more.
Yeah.
And can I work with you just a little bit?
Yes,
And
I would
maybe
love that.
someone else who's on this similar journey and they're thinking about. So a way to make maintenance work is to activate the parts of your life that you now get to do and really go all in on that and have like maintaining your weight be what fuels that. Right?
Okay.
So you want to be healthy because you want to travel all over the world.
Yes.
You want to, I know that your romantic life is going really well.
It is.
And we don't have to go into all the details, but
Sure.
kudos to you.
Thank you.
But there's all kinds of things that you get to do now. Your artistic life, your creative life, all the things, the way you show up and all that you're doing.
Right.
Do you see how focusing on your life, less on the weight loss is done.
Right.
You get to, by keeping what you've created, you get to do all this stuff with more ease.
Yes.
And do you see how that can help?
Yes. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. The whole thing was getting away from focusing on the food and blah, 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 blah. And I don't want to have to continue to hyper focus on that. And so I think flipping the focus to the things I get to do in my life is the way to go.
It really is.
For sure.
One of the things back in the day when this was Drop the Weight.
Yeah.
And for all the OG listeners, we love you so much. Thank you for being with us from the beginning.
Yeah.
Drop the Weight. My only issue with that name was that it sounded like it was just all about physical weight loss.
Sure. I mean, there's so much more that goes into it.
Yeah. And really what I'm most interested in, if I were to be really honest, I think weight loss is fascinating. I'm really interested though in what it means to really drop the heaviness that we're carrying around, whether it's limiting beliefs or trauma or just outdated patterns, or just we go through life and life is difficult.
Yeah.
And that can create a heaviness.
Sure.
And what does it mean to really drop the weight?
Yeah.
And I find people that have the most transformational experiences often have a relationship with, we can call it that invisible source energy.
Sure.
Some people call that God. Mm-hmm. Some people have a formal religious practice. Some people are more kind of, they call it spirit or tree or ocean or dog or whatever that is, their community. Right. What is that for you? That invisible piece?
That is a really great question. And the truth is that right now, I don't know.
Okay.
But also with that, I mean, this whole thing about me has been acceptance, because I grew up in a very religious area and in a very religious home. And there's still so much that I love about that. But there's also things about it that don't quite mesh for me within
And
that.
you're holding out a little bit. Can you name it a little more specifically?
Yes. I grew up a member of the Mormon Church, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And there's so many things that I do really love about it. I love how I grew up. I love the community aspect of it. But as far as the beliefs of the church, there are things that I disagree with, and I've struggled with that for a very, very long time. And I think that a big part of my journey overall, both with weight, but just where I'm at in life, is realizing that like, it's okay for me to not be okay with this stuff. It's totally fine.
And this stuff meaning formal religion?
Yes, these things in my former religion that I don't believe in. And I mean, truthfully now when people ask if I'm religious, I say I grew up Mormon.
Okay.
I don't know that I say now I'm Mormon.
Okay. You're at a big place in your life.
That's a huge thing for me.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were Mormon with me, you're probably like, I can't believe this didn't happen sooner. But if you knew me and you weren't a Mormon with me, you're probably, your jaw's on the ground.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, because I really just was so committed to identity of Mormon. Yeah, it was a really, really big thing for me. They call it your shelf breaking, actually, for people that leave the church. Meaning, you know, there's things you're not okay with that you just kind of like, I'll put that on the shelf and I'll deal with that later. And I'll deal with that later. And then finally the shelf that's holding all those things just breaks and you have to kind of confront it. And so for me, that was just kind of like accepting like, wait, it's okay. It's actually all okay. And so that I think helped me with all of this. And I'm still kind of figuring out what all of that looks like for me now.
And can I reflect something to you?
Yeah.
So often people will talk about in every religion, and yours was Mormonism, there is the actual religious part of it, which is all the rules.
Right.
And then there's the more
Spiritual.
mystical.
Yes.
And in every religion, Christianity, Judaism, Islam, there's the mystical aspect, which we could say the part that is maybe more devoid of the rules.
Right.
For you to have had the transformation that you have, I know that you are deeply connected with love and
Yes.
spirit
For sure.
and faith.
Yes.
Has the faith just changed?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, that's still there. I still don't, it's like, I don't even know how to fully describe it. But what I can tell you is when my cat died a year ago that I was so in love with, and I felt his presence around afterwards. And I also felt such an outpouring of love from my family and my friends. And that's something I can believe in. So I believe that that's around us. I don't know how I identify that. I'm still kind of working that out. And I don't know what working it out looks like.
Well, can we talk about that just for one more second? This is just an interesting place. In 12 Steps, which we could say is a spiritual toolbox that fits all denominations and also people that are not religiously attributed to anything.
Yeah.
And it's basically designed to give you a spiritual experience so that you can, whatever your challenge is, whether it's drinking or drugs or food or gambling or sex or whatever it is, anything that continues to plague you and cause negative consequences. It's designed to give you a spiritual experience so that you can, instead of reaching for that behavior or drug or food, you reach for a power greater than yourself and you get to define it yourself.
Right.
And it's learning how to, maybe for the first time, navigate that. Like, oh, I want this chocolate.
Right.
But I'm not going to have the chocolate. I'm going to maybe, what is it like to connect more deeply with spirit or source or God or Holy Spirit or whatever that is for you?
Sure.
Are you letting me know, are you saying right now that you're not quite sure what you're reaching for in those moments?
Yeah. Because actually right now for my journey, what I immediately thought of was, oh, my belief is in self.
Okay.
And I know that there's something greater, but my belief, instead of, reaching for the chocolate, My belief is in my ability to take care of myself.
Yes.
By taking a bath or wrapping in a snuggly blanket or cuddling with my new cat or whatever or calling a friend or whatever it is. But my belief is in myself and my ability to take care of myself and my trust in knowing that I can do that and that I do have those tools. For me, it's a takedown of the systems that I was existing in and then figuring out how I identify that again. And so it has a little bit broken my brain in some ways, but also I don't need to put pressure on myself about it. It can just be what it is, right? It's just, that's, I guess, hard for me to identify. And I guess what I do believe is, I really believe that my grandma and grandpa are out there somewhere looking over me because I felt their presence before. So sometimes when I'm scared or I'm whatever, I think of like, oh, grandma's probably here.
It's beautiful.
You know, so
there's yeah. Thank you for sharing that. It sounds very much like you're in this whole new identity. So much has shifted, including your orientation around your former faith.
Yeah.
And you're in the discovery process.
Yeah.
And that's exciting.
It is exciting. And even putting it as exciting is new to me because I think people, the community that I grew up in, people kind of talk about like, oh, they left the church. It's kind of like a wah, wah, you know? And it's really just like been so much dismantling, but it's also been so good for me to be like, it's okay. Honestly, I think all religions kind of get it right and kind of get it wrong. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Because at the end of the day, it's like loving the people around you, you know, that's the most important thing. So you don't need to be in any certain type of community to do that.
Yeah. So sitting here, we could talk so much longer about all of your breakthroughs and insights. What would you say your biggest insight, though, that you'd like to share with the audience? What have you learned the most about yourself? Maybe we'll leave it there. Something that you've learned by going through this 140-pound successful weight release journey.
You know what's really interesting is I think that there's no moment to be ready. I think you just have to jump in. Because what happened for me, I had a friend get weight loss surgery and I was like, we can do that? It just was like, my brain was like, what? So anyway, I talked to my doctor, blah, 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 got everything, you know, got the surgery scheduled. And then a month before surgery, surgeon's office calls me and they go, it's Friday. Do you want to have surgery on Monday, actually?
Oh.
Yeah. And I was like, what? Like, like, can we even do that? Like, am I supposed to be on a certain thing for a week to like, and they were like, no, it's totally fine. You know, we had an opening. The schedule got crazy for the month that you're actually going to be there. Do you want to do this? And it was just kind of like, you know what? There's no time like the present. Let's just hop in, let's do it. And, you know, the same thing happened with GLP-1 and kind of been like ruminating in my brain. And then we went to brunch together and I just like, what do you know about this? And you were instrumental, of course, in helping me get on that path, you know, and it was just like, oh, okay, I guess I'm doing this now. So I think that there's truly no time to pull the trigger there's no moment that's going to come that tells you pull the trigger, or maybe there is. I don't know. What do I know? But for me, there wasn't. There was just like, again, acceptance of like, okay, this is how it's happening. And I guess, you know what? I am in the business of saying yes for myself. Yes, let's do it. Yes, let's try it out, you know? So that for me.
Just to begin.
Yeah.
It's a good place to end.
Yes.
Yes. Shelley, thank you for being here.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
This is so great.
It is so great to be here.
Proud of you.
Truly honored.
Yeah.
You are the actual best. I love you so much. And I'm so grateful. You've helped me so much throughout the years. And you've been instrumental in me getting to where I am today. And so I just, thank you so much.
I love you.
I love you too.